Damn!
Oh my
God! Okay. Maybe it's just me. Let me get y'all's opinion on this. Did Roddy Piper just kill John Morrison?
I think he just killed John Morrison. Straight up edged his damn neck.
You're telling me.
Eggy.
Ow.
Ew.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, no!
Oh, God, no!
Here we are, 8 episodes in, and this is not how I expected to be breaking anyone's neck this far in.
Break your fucking neck! What do you need to do? The only thing you need to do is, you know, I still think Busta Rhymes would be great in a WWF thing. I'm just saying.
So
no, that's why they've got Booker T.
Point.
Well, it's the middle of another week, and it's your boy BlazingAceNelson back again with, of course,
That Bastard,
and a very, very special guest.
Yeah, Vorel Kethend. Hi guys, I'm back.
remember her from season 0? Yeah. She was in a cryogenic frozen state for a little bit, but she recently got thawed back out and is back out and about the world and doing her thing.
Very funny.
Doing her thing.
Very funny.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, welcome back to the Hooliganz, everybody. And this week, if in case you did not recognize what just happened on your screen, we're going to be grilling WWE All Stars.
So, WWF All Stars, which, yes, for the record, I'm saying that the entire fucking video, because there is no such thing as WWE, to me. And honestly, when you have characters with a roster like this, how dare you even call it WWE? God damn it! You got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on this. We got Roddy Piper, who just killed John Morrison. Look at that. I mean, Cena doesn't even deserve to be on the same fucking level as Hulk Hogan, but it's the Hulkster, original Hulkamania. Now we're talking. Original Hulkamania. You got original Undertaker. I mean, dude, cut straight to the, I mean, fuck the usual, you know, standard thing we go about with this. Go straight to the roster. Show them the roster.
You know what? Why not?
This roster is fucking huge.
Now take note, this is my first time actually laying hands on the game in, oh god, months.
Whereas I actually did play WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, or 2012? 2012. Just a little bit, just recently. So, you know, I'm just saying.
And I haven't even been able to unlock very many of the characters, so the roster that you're going to see on the screen is very much incomplete.
But it is achievable.
Not only is it achievable, but again, just it's incomplete, but with what you have at the start, my god.
That is a whole lot of characters.
So starting with where the two cursors are on the screen, you've got Hulk Hogan and John Cena. Then moving on your left, El Hitman. Now, this actually takes me back to one time when they actually had a WWF event back in San Bernardino at the Casolas Arena at the Orange Show.
Oh,
I remember that.
I got the chance to go. I was in like 6th grade. I was hanging out with my boy Mike at the time, and I actually got a pair of the Hitman's glasses.
Nice.
I swear, if I find out who took them, it's gonna be a reenactment of what happened at the beginning of this shit.
Did Roddy Piper kill John Morrison? Yes, he did.
Oh, yes, he did.
Speaking about killing things and life and death, to the left of Bret Hart,
Our savior from the first Rapture.
he's the one. He's the one.
This man prevented the Rapture by elbow dropping God.
Pretty much. Of course, they didn't, and apparently it also had cumulative effects because remember it was supposed to happen in May again, or whatever.
Oh, so he elbow dropped him so hard that the force of it knocked out God before he could wake up from the previous unconsciousness.
Randy Savage died for your sins to stop the rapture.
Rest in peace, Macho Man.
Thank you.
Oh,
No
yeah!
And following up from that,
The martial arts maneuver, the master, the tactician,
the original Kung Fu Guru, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
The one that brought martial arts to the squared circle.
Does anybody know whatever happened to him?
I think he died or turned into David Carradine and died. I think he turned into David Carradine and died, yeah. He's probably still alive.
Yeah, he probably just retired and is like, you know, handling shit off screen on the sidelines for the most part.
Now plotting to kill me now that I've said that. Dare you compare me to David Carradine? I'm dead.
You poor baby.
Yep. To the left of him.
To the left of him, y'all know the bald.
Stone Cold Steve Austin!
The one and only.
As you guys probably couldn't tell, Vorel is a really, really big wrestling fan.
Can't help it.
Yeah, but there's going to be one, which will come up to him, but there'll be one who, honestly, I don't know why he's not in the Classics roster, but you'll see what I mean later on. So yeah, you got Stone Cold Steve Austin, who wins no matter which side he's playing, no matter what he's doing. He's just...
The man is nasty. They don't call him the Rattler for nothing.
He can show up and shit will go down. All he does is stand there drinking a beer going...
You know, in the Ask a Ninja recipe for disaster, he would be the bearded man standing in the background cackling, but he wouldn't be cackling, he'd just be drinking a beer.
Looking at you funny.
Wow,
and you know,
shit goes down.
There were several episodes, don't forget, of, I don't even remember if it was Raw or SmackDown, where they did play the Glass Shattering, his intro song, like 3 or 4 times, and everyone just stopped and looked. We're talking about the man who single-handedly destroyed King of the Ring. Single-handedly, don't forget. He was like the first motherfucker in the ring and the only motherfucker in the ring. I think one guy. I think those fucking
I think there are probably 2 other wrestlers that I can. There are 2 other wrestlers I can think of right offhand that have done that. That have been the first in.
That vicious.
Pretty much the first in, and the last one to leave. That would be, aside from Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the other. I think they actually have him with the Legends instead of the modern superstars.
New school.
But Shawn Michaels.
He might have. That's something.
Shawn Michaels has been the first one in and the last one to leave in a Royal Rumble.
That's something to check out.
More than once.
Well, Shawn Michaels, he's. Although, wait, is he in the Legends or is he in the New school?
He should be in the Legends.
On this, I believe he's in the Legends.
Oh, good. Because honestly, he's one of those motherfuckers that needs to be in the Legends. Much like Hulk Hogan, much like Steve Austin even.
Much like the next man coming up.
Mr.
Senor Perfect.
Senor Perfecto. What hasn't been said about the guy? I mean...
He's just perfect.
Oh, the mullet.
The man,
mullets.
the myth, the mullet. But more importantly, the perfect plex.
Yes. Which has been brought to this game. Moving on. He's perfect. What can be said?
Now for the bottom row of legends that are currently available at the start, you have.
Hey! We're talking about the man that created fucking Duke Nukem right here. If it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for his catchphrases, you know what I mean? Roddy Piper, baby. And he was one of the best villains in cartoondom. Remember the old 1980s WWF cartoon?
Yeah.
He was one of the bad guys, and he was good. Him and the Iron Sheik. And Roddy
I think the
Piper.
Iron Sheik's on this one too. Is either one of the unlockables or one of the DLC characters.
Oh, that was so cool.
I know that there is a slew of DLC characters for this. But we'll be getting into the DLC a little bit later.
Yeah, let's not jump characters. Yeah.
Why haven't I gotten them yet? Because I've been getting DLC for other shit like Metal Gear Rising and Dynasty Warriors.
And let's face it, those 2 are a priority. Those 2 are a priority.
So I'll eventually start picking stuff up for this.
Moving on, speaking about villains.
Jake Roberts.
The
Snake. The Rattler before the Rattler.
The Cobra Clutch.
Now, honestly...
I got cheeseburgers I just got cheeseburgers.
Now, honestly, I think probably one of my favorite early memories of watching anything World Wrestling Federation or World Wrestling Entertainment, Attitude Era, it doesn't matter. One of my favorite early wrestling memories was actually seeing Jake Roberts quite literally slither into the ring with that burlap sack.
Yeah.
Open that motherfucker up and let Damien out.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Actually, for me, it was Hulk Hogan. Or no, it was Hulk Hogan accidentally punching Miss Elizabeth, and then Macho Man Randy Savage like coming while he's in the backstage going, "Oh, I'm sorry, Elizabeth. Oh, I'm sorry, brother." And then just Savage losing it all over him. Just right. I think they accidentally upsetted Miss Elizabeth from the bed. From the gurney she was on, like they just went at it, just like it was the split. It was the split of the mega powers. Yeah. Speaking of which, yeah,
this is a dude that needs no introduction.
Yeah.
Like he was my favorite. He was my favorite out of the ring. Out of the ring, he was my favorite motherfucker.
This guy, he's like the Blanca of wrestling.
Yeah! Yes! Oh my god,
All right,
yes!
paint this dude green, dye his hair red. Yeah.
Would you like some poon cake? Or would you like some poon cake? Yes, I like some poon cake! That's Ultimate Warrior right there. Hogan, I'm gonna get into the plane. That is WWE.
Oh,
I wish he wasn't Christian. I wish he came back. I wish he was crazy again instead of just being conspiracy theorist crazy.
Yeah.
I wish he was back on the camera talking shit about how, you know, the SummerSlam is actually a plane and you are the pilot and he's gonna rush into the cockpit, Hogan, and I'm going to kill you, Hogan, and I'm going to crash the plane into the mountains made up of the thousands and thousands of heavy metal maniacs to the theme song of Manowar, Hogan. I will be your personal apocalypse! And when the aliens beam me full of energy, Hogan! Oh, shit!
We could go for another hour and a half just on the Ultimate Warrior.
I miss you, Ultimate Warrior.
Just
Please
on the freaking
come
Dingo
back.
Warrior alone.
Please come do some steroids and come back to us, Ultimate Warrior. We miss you.
Speaking of big dudes that we miss.
The original big dude.
Andre the Giant. May rest in
I
peace.
found these two horses.
Anybody want a peanut?
Stop rhyming!
I am the Brute Squad. I'm on the Brute Squad. You are the Brute Squad.
That's the Brute Squad.
Oh, you want to talk about a talent cut down early? A genuine talent. I mean, God, can you? He could have been on Rocky. He could have been a Rocky competitor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could have been in action movies.
Actually, two big dudes that we've lost that I would love to see together just in a movie, whether it's action or hell, it could be some sort of cracked out WWE or WWF buddy cop movie.
What, Andre the Big Show?
No, Andre the Giant and friggin' Michael Clark Duncan.
Oh shit! Can you imagine those two?
And just two of the biggest, nicest dudes.
Each cop car they get in would explode like Hightower Police Academy. It would be like, what do we do now? I think we should run, boss. I'm sorry, but you know,
Lord.
He's,
Lord.
You can't say Michael. I can't think Michael Duncan Clark and not think of two things: Sin City, where he played his character in Sin City, who's badass, or the huge tard from Green Mile. John Coffey liked the drink.
I would say though, and here's this kind of sad coincidence. The day before Michael Clark Duncan died, I was actually working at the theater, talking with my manager. just talking about like who we'd want to have for like our perfect casting for Marvel movie reboots. And when it came to Daredevil, we had two names come up. One, we actually wanted to see if we could have Bradley Cooper take over as Matt Murdock, take over as Daredevil. He's got the looks, he's got the acting chops.
True.
And I think he could pull it off. But as far as Kingpin goes, we could not find anyone else. We could not think of anyone else who would have made a better Kingpin than Michael Clark Duncan did. And then a day later, Michael Clark Duncan dead at 54. God damn it!
Yeah.
Why didn't Macho Man elbow drop God before he took him?
Maybe he wanted a wrestling partner. Maybe he needed somebody at the turnbuckle to tag in. I'm just saying. I'm throwing this out there. So Andre the Giant with his big fucking hands.
You know what? To any of our subscribers or viewers out there, if you are artistically inclined, I would love to actually see some fan art of freaking Macho Man getting ready to elbow drop off the top rope with Michael Clark Duncan reaching for the tag in. That would make my day.
This is a kind of stupid thing I gotta point out, but is it Michael Duncan Clark or Michael Clark Duncan?
It's Michael Clark Duncan.
God damn it, I've been saying it vice versa this whole time.
It's okay.
So moving on. Andre the Giant is big jawed, his fucking man hands.
And then we have...
His hands are like a human. Each one is as big as a whole human.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, and then we got...
And then we have Franchise Viagra.
Oh, shit. He kind of looks like John Cena in this.
And I say this because quite literally, it seems like every single franchise that The Rock has been introduced to as far as movies go recently has just seen a massive uptick.
Trending.
I mean, Fast and Furious, speaking of which, Furious 6, fucking excellent.
Of course, it has Michelle Rodriguez. That's all I care about. Period. Period. Michelle Rodriguez makes everything better. Even Resident Evil, that cock block of a movie. Yeah, and I'm talking about the first one, and I like the first one in comparison to the rest of the crap.
I know. G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny that you got The Rock and John Cena on here, which they just did a thing. I just watched a documentary, and like I said, trending, where they were talking about how they got into Twitter wars, where, you know, The Rock, because he called John Cena Fruit Loops, or Fruity Pebbles. No, he called him Fruity Pebbles.
Wow.
He was pointing out the color of his shoes, his pants, the you can't see me, the bands. It was like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. And no, but then John Cena got a fucking advertising thing with Fruity Pebbles. He's on the back of these boxes because The Rock called him a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. And
Franchise Viagra.
Yeah, and he was even eating a bowl, just like eating, looking all in one of the backstage cuts. You know how they do the advertising backstage cuts? He's eating a bowl of Fruity Pebbles with a big old smile on his face, mugging me, just happy mugging for the camera, getting money because The Rock called him a bowl of Fruity Pebbles.
That is just awesome.
So that's all. So that's the legends that are unlocked, mind you.
Now, before we actually get into the gameplay and the rest of the roster, just to give you a basic overview of the setup for the game, WWE All Stars, it's not a wrestling sim like SmackDown vs. Raw.
It is not. SmackDown vs. Raw is the first thing you need to know.
Yeah. This is like Def Jam Vendetta. This is straight up arcade style, brick-faced, cartoony as hell. I will break your neck instead of just sleeper hold you. Just goodness. Yeah.
You know, I would liken this to the
it is arcade wrestling action.
Yeah. I would liken this to the new Transformers cartoons in that a lot of people complained because every time they transformed, it would go to like a Final Fantasy VII style cutscene or summon scene where, you know, big clunky noises and they're doing this massive heroic monologue while they're transforming and it's like da-da-da-da with their leitmotif. And some people were like, well, that's not Transformers, you know, it's like, well, fuck you, I thought that was cool as hell. Just massive, you know, you got the bad guy, you got, you know, fucking Megatron, all like, today is the day you die, Optimus, and like 5-minute monologue while he's transforming. And then it cuts directly to Optimus, no, and then transforms, you know, today is the day I will defeat you, and good will be good, you know, and it's like, that's what I like in this too, are those cutscenes. Over the top, clunky in the sense of the noises, great noises, yeah. Well, hell.
But
yeah, sorry.
But aside from that, you know, this is quite literally a sort of wrestling fan dream match game where you get to pick your favorite stars from back in the day against cats who might be your favorite wrestling stars now, like the following superstars that we're going to be showing.
Here it comes.
Starting with... By the way, if y'all even uttered his nickname, you lost.
I punched him in the shoulder for all of you. I just right now punched him in the shoulder for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
As his old intro used to say, yeah.
Time to play
the game.
By Motorhead, nonetheless. Continuing on.
Then we have
Big Show. The new big guy. That's not the Great Khali.
Yeah, the new big guy that's not I'm so glad you're back. No, I don't have
Yes.
to stop you.
I'm sorry.
Let's see, and of course, as you can see from the second player icon, there's also we also
Fruity
got John
Pebbles.
Cena,
Mr. Fruity Pebbles himself.
Johnny has girl parts.
and then there's
Guy who's whiter than white.
The
Mayonnaise.
Oh my god.
The man's so white. Now, this is a fairly black crew up in here in this room, and we are all whitened by his very presence. Seriously, we went straight Darth Vader style at this point. But nobody got that joke. Fuck you guys! Oh my god! Oh!
it's okay.
Fuck
It's
you!
okay.
It was funny. Continuing.
Yeah, following up there, we have John Morrison, one of the more agile superstars these
Yeah,
days.
I find it funny that everyone who talks about John Morrison, that's like the first which I'm not tripping, because that was the first thing I said earlier too.
I mean,
one of the most athletic talents.
No, seriously, John Morrison is a cut up.
Yeah.
He is a straight cut up. He's like a new school mixture of friggin' Shawn Michaels meets Eddie Guerrero meets Rey Mysterio. Speaking of which, Rey Mysterio, yeah. If y'all didn't recognize the mask, what's wrong with you?
You said franchise. You
You
said
know-
franchise. You can't have WWF without Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, the only little Mexican boy I ever fall in love with.
Booyaka! And that just marginalized. Ooh, for once, she's the one who alienated the fans. All of our Mexican fans are going, whatever, I didn't want you anyway. And then the sniffles. So moving on to actually, speaking about franchise, you missed one.
Oh,
Or by John Cena.
not necessarily, because you see I'm still trying to cover the bottom row.
Oh.
Which leads us to
One of the
another wrestling snake.
one of the finest fucking villains out there.
Ben,
I don't give a fuck if he's Santa Claus on Christmas. I don't give a fuck if he's one of the nicest motherfuckers in the world. I don't give a fuck if he's got kids
When he gets in
waiting
the
for him.
ring,
Oh,
he gets in the ring, this dude is Komodo.
he is evil.
Do you know his other nickname?
You
You get
The apex predator, the viper, the cerebral assassin.
you get model points if you know his very first one.
model points.
Yes.
The body.
Nope.
What the?
The Legend Killer, because
Oh.
he was the
Oh,
first.
the Legend Killer.
He was the first
Yeah.
person to take out the Undertaker.
Yeah.
But
Not at a
not at a WrestleMania.
Not at a
Not
WrestleMania.
at a WrestleMania.
At this
but
point, that
That
man
man!
right there still remains WrestleMania undefeated. This guy is big time.
Oh my
undefeated.
god.
And I think our poor little model right here is having a gasm.
Sorry,
Take her gasm.
in junior high and high school, I literally started a cult for this man. We all wore leather and trench coats with hoods.
This is what she masturbated in. Two. With? Yeah.
Both, all of the above, doesn't matter.
And to the left of the taker!
And to the left of the taker, honestly one of my personal favorites of the New Blood,
True.
Kofi Kingston.
Air. Boom!
Kofi Kingston's alright for me. He's alright.
Now, not only just when he's not, zipping around the ring, fucking Strider Hiryu style.
Yeah.
Just when he's on his own, just chilling backstage in the locker room. I swear this guy actually reminds me a bit of my brother.
Huh.
He kind of reminds me of Stefan.
Cool.
Now that you mention it!
Oh Lord, what have I unleashed?
So, rounding out this big-ass roster, which, holy
Rounding
shit.
out this admittedly big-ass roster, which damn near took up the entire first half of the podcast.
Serious.
We have-
Motherfucking.
CM Punk.
With hair, the way I like him, I'd like to point
The
out.
way he should be, always.
But he is more sinister and more face, with the bald. I mean, look, the same thing happened with Kurt Angle, though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he was just a douche in the beginning, and then he got his hair, buzzed, and suddenly he turned into like this major fucking Randy Orton level heel. Now, I would like to say that our
Randy
characters-
Orton level heel.
Yeah.
Nowhere near Randy Orton heel.
Yes. No.
There needs to be that caveat needs to be put in there.
But speaking about heels, they are missing, unless he's an unlockable or a DLC, they are honestly missing one of my favorites of all time, The Miz. the biggest douche heel in the world. He is just like, heels
actually,
made of douche.
This is where I actually have to go into one of the other modes. Because you see...
Triple thrust? Threat?
But you see, this game is interesting in that not only in the standard mode do you have the 1v1, triple threat matches, fatal 4-way, handicap matches.
For those when you really want to do those Mark Henry level squash
But
matches.
you also have Tornado Tag Team, Steel Cage, Extreme Rules, elimination matches. And then there's Path of Champions and Fantasy Warfare.
What's the difference?
Path of Champions is the career mode.
Oh.
This is where you can actually play as a legend and fight your way to WrestleMania to take on the Undertaker.
And be defeated.
Fight your way to WrestleMania as one of the new superstars to take on Randy Orton. Or fight as a tag team to take on D-Generation X.
Oh!
Are you
That's
kidding?
pretty cool.
You think, dude, does this look like the face of a man that's shitting you?
Technically, they can't see your face, so we're just going to tell them no.
No!
No.
No.
And Fantasy Warfare is the...
Fantasy Warfare is interesting. Because, like it says on the screen,
Legends versus New School?
It lets you do Legends versus Superstars in a series of past versus present fantasy matches.
So, you know what? This is basically, this whole game, I hate to just, I'm not trying to boil it down to the basic essence here, but this is basically that movie with the, what's his face? Oh my god, it was basically all about Jerry the King Lawler. It had a whole bunch of WCW faces in it. It's about those two guys.
I remember what
They're a couple of losers, and they really love wrestling.
No, I know what...
Not over the top.
I know what movie you're talking about.
Fuck!
I just can't remember what it's called.
None of us can.
I want to say it's Royal Rumble, but that's not it.
It stars the guy who married that chick from Friends. Fuck! You know what? Fuck the rule. I know we normally say cell phones off, but I'm looking this shit up. It's like one of my favorite movies. I have the fucking VHS. You heard that right, kids. VHS. It's in my storage. I don't even watch it anymore.
Yeah.
But suffice it to say, I mean, the whole point of that was they brought the King back, those two, after he got defeated, because it showed some new schoolers beating him up and shit, and, you know, yeah. Oh, the other one, it's also like reminiscent of Rocky. Or the new Rocky? The one where it shows the
Rocky
old...
Balboa.
Yeah, Rocky Balboa.
Yeah,
the one where it shows
Rocky
the
6.
new guy, and then he decides to come out of retirement. It's the same fucking thing right here. That's basically what it is.
But yeah, but what I really like about Fantasy Warfare, well, let me just go ahead and actually...
That is cool!
Yeah.
That is cool!
Ow! Theme matches with past versus present. So you've got Shawn Michaels and Undertaker in a Mr. WrestleMania match.
Which, let's face it,
You've got Roddy Piper versus Drew McIntyre for the Pride of Scotland. Undisputed, The Rock versus Triple H.
That was an actual match.
Ruthless aggression.
Yeah!
And note, the characters that aren't on the roster, that aren't initially unlocked on the roster, you can play through Fantasy Warfare and unlock them.
Including
Which
Edge?
means you can unlock Jimmy Snuka. You can unlock Kane. There's Randy Savage and John Morrison. Hulk versus John
motherfucking
Cena.
Hogan.
Jack Swagger and Jackie Swagger. The Stars and Stripes Showdown. The Coldest Snake.
Which I was thinking about earlier.
The
Snake on
Coldest Snake. Excellence
yes.
execution, including Edge.
Yes,
Are you
there
happy?
he is. There he is. The spear! 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 Spear!
And yes, you get... Not only do you get like straight up authentic voiceovers from the WWE superstars, but you even get the authentic commentary from Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler,
which is awesome. That's some of my favorite commentary comes from those two.
Probably my favorite commentators outside of Gorilla Monsoon and Mean Gene Okerlund.
Also, if you're gonna, and I'm gonna alienate some more fans with this. Fuck you guys, I don't care. Booker T and Taz. I've always liked those guys as commentators too.
Yeah, Booker T and Taz were pretty cool as commentators. I'm not gonna lie, but again, that's just
five time. You know, we're gonna watch back on these videos like we always do. Hey, let's just all face it, we do here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna look back on this and we're gonna be like, dude, it's mostly us screaming catchphrases from WWF.
Yes, it is.
Austin wins.
Dear. Yeah. I agree with that one.
But again,
Austin
just
wins.
the Fantasy Warfare matches are just so cool because it's like you get to play the Fangasm for crying out loud.
And that's yes,
my God.
Not Brock Lesnar versus Big Show. No, the way it should be. Andre the motherfucking Giant versus Big Show. Two of the biggest motherfuckers ever to walk out of a woman fully grown, ready for war. Possibly a man. I'm just saying. The Miz. Yeah. You know, this is what happens when a franchise of any sort, a brand of any type, listens to the fans and gives them what they want. Capcom? Do you notice this, Capcom?
No. And here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing that I'm going to end this half of the podcast on.
Uh-oh.
THQ is out of business now.
What? Because of this?
No, not because of this, but basically
Thank God.
just recently THQ actually had to close up shop. And all the franchises that they had, including the WWE games, are basically in limbo.
You're kidding.
But think about it this way: THQ is out of business, and yet they teamed up with the WWE, the WWF, whatever you wish to call it, and gave us All Stars.
An awesome fucking game thus far, I'd like to point out.
We'll get more into the gameplay in part 2. So stick around for that. Hell, I'll probably even show off some of the Fantasy Warfare matches while we continue our discussion of WWE All Stars.
Screaming about WWF. This is pretty much just what this is. This is us fangasming about, wrestlers.
Well, you guys fangasming and me just...
Gasming. Drooling. So, till the next part, we'll catch you in a bit.
Is it me or is it awfully moist in here?
Shut up!